Good morning. So today is August 22nd, all right, and this is daily attendance. All the links are up for everything. We will be doing chapter 2 for this week for homework, and I will be, stating the instructions within this video, okay? If somebody could do the timestamps, that'd be great. What else is pending? We will be doing a Teams meeting hopefully by Thursday. That will be from 2 to 4. I will be setting that up in the calendar as soon as I'm done with all the all the groups, all the teams groups, okay, that I'm having to input with you guys to create a group. I think that's what they're called. I think they're called groups, or yeah, teams. I think they're called teams. So make sure that you have already downloaded your Teams app. I highly encourage you. I've stated it tremendously. Emails are really hard for me. I'll respond, but it'll take some time. And then bubbles are really hard for me too. They're also kind of weird when I sort of try to get everything in there, and then there's like links that don't go up. So I highly encourage you and really requesting that whenever you want to communicate with me, it needs to be through Teams, okay? That way I make sure that I don't miss anybody. I answer immediately if I'm available, and it just facilitates everything in that way. You make sure that that I get to you. I also have students that hey miss, I sent you whatever and you haven't responded. Yeah, if you sent it at 5 at 5 o'clock on Friday, I probably haven't, okay? So if you really need to get a hold of me, please do so through Teams. It's just faster, please, okay? What else? So Teams meeting is not mandatory, okay, but it is highly encouraged. I do meditation afterwards, which is an incredible skill that I think everybody should learn, whether you believe in spirituality or not. It has nothing to do with that. It really has to do with the meditation practice, which really helps you focus, and it helps you breathe, okay? And it really helps you harness your emotions, all right? Because once we give up our emotions, we're giving up our power. So it's about really managing them in order for us not to be triggered. And if we're triggered, right, or there's some maybe uncomfortableness in something that we're going through the skill of breathing and focusing, right, through meditation, or just knowing how to breathe, inhaling and then exhaling, you could really help manage those emotions, okay? So it's an incredible skill to being able to harness back your power, all right? So I highly encourage you to show up. That's where I really mention, what it is that I feel is important, and that's where my expertise really comes out. You're paying for my expertise, so there's a lot of things within that meeting that I discuss that are pertinent and probably haven't been, discussed in the chapter, or things that I think that are important for you and your life, okay? Remember that however it is that you're showing up for life is the way you are, okay, and who you are. So, be honorable, be ethical, be moral, meet your deadlines. It's important for you to show up to life. When you miss your deadlines, that's not good. I have students that, when they send me a text, right, every single term that I've had with them, they turn in their homework late. So be mindful. Don't put yourself in a position where people tire of you, okay? Where people don't have to, make accommodations for you in terms of, this has nothing to do with if you have a disability or anything, that, having to make accommodations or having approvals because you just didn't get it together and didn't meet your deadlines. Deadlines are super, super, super important. My, my classwork is really, really easy. I mean, if it takes an hour, it's a lot, okay? It's really simple. There's not much to it. So, so really put in the time. It also shows that there's a respect for you. There's a respect that you have for the deadline, and there's a respect to whoever it is that you're meeting that deadline for, okay? So at the moment that you don't meet your deadlines, then that becomes an issue. If you have, life-threatening disease or life-threatening accident or something that happened that was way above your control, then that's understandable. But if it's consistency for you, really get out of it, because it could be detrimental to your career and your person, okay, to yourself. Give me a minute. Forgot one of my books. So just be mindful, okay? What else? Be very mindful about, also, so deadlines are really important. The other thing is make sure that you upload in the correct place. If you don't and you upload everything in one place, it tells me two things, okay? It tells me that you missed the deadline for the other one and you're pretending like, oh wow, I missed it and I made a mistake and I uploaded in the wrong one. I'm smarter than that. The other thing is that if I make an annotation, let's say I pass it, right? Whatever, I'm easy, okay? So I pass your, whatever, mishap. Then I might take a notation, but then when I get back to grading the other one or the other assignment, then what happens is that I forget and I don't grade it, okay? So be mindful of that. You could have possibly done, an honest mistake, and honest mistakes are okay, but nonetheless, you didn't meet the deadline and you didn't upload. So let's try to, meet our deadlines and make sure that we upload our stuff. Now, very interesting, because it's happened in other terms, but it's really happening now. Be mindful if you're trying to con me, and I'm really sorry, because most of you really show up and you do really well. So I hate talking about all negative stuff, especially, since you only see me in a video, and I don't want to discuss negative things, because for the most part, everybody is very responsible. So thank you so much for those of you who show up and have everything turned in and don't miss a deadline, and you know what's going on with the class, and you're very responsible. So that you're going to go a long way, and things are just really going to work out for you. But specifically for this last grading that I did, I had a lot of students to really sketch stuff. So just don't do it. It bothers me tremendously, and I'm gonna catch it, okay? Even though you think I won't, because it sort of seems like I don't check stuff, but I do. I could be really meany and really grade your assignments based on whatever. And remember that I am a principal, so I can make my classes as hard or as easy as I want. And I really choose to make it easy. It's on purpose, okay? So just be mindful if you're uploading things that you want to get by me that have nothing to do with class. Okay, that is really considered plagiarism if you're using some sort of material from another class, or if you forgot or made a mistake or wanted to pretend that like you uploaded something and figured that I wouldn't check on it, and then I find it, okay, for whatever reason, because in the end I do check it. I might not grade it specifically and harshly, but I do check your work, okay? I used to have essays, but I just thought that was really cumbersome for you all. But I used to, check every single essay. You can ask my students, okay? So if you upload something and I was really meany, I could consider that plagiarism, and you can get expelled. Expelling means that you can't get into any other school, okay? You're thrown out of school and you can't go back. It's not a suspension. So be mindful of that. Plagiarism is huge, 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 huge. We had a whole training on plagiarism, okay, when we started this term. I am in the English department. I do paper reviews, and that's all our directors talk about. So be mindful. They're really gonna go down on people, or really be very stringent on that, and very very hard, I guess, maybe in after this term. So be very mindful. Don't put yourself in a position for that. It's not worth it, okay? And sometimes when you just come to me, if you're having a hard time, I'll let it slide. But once I see that it's term after term after term, I won't. So be mindful, okay? And so that's enough for that. So all of you all who really show up, thank you so much, and let's make it a great week. Oh, another thing, next week is midterms, so why don't you, let's vote, okay? This is not a democracy, but sometimes I let you vote. So I'm thinking of doing chapter 2, right, for this week. That's your assignment. But I'm thinking about possibly creating or letting you do your midterm towards the end of the week, okay? We could start on Thursday, and you could turn it in on Friday or Saturday, and that way you're done for next week, and you focus on your other midterms, and you would be done for midterms for my class. you would only have to, do your attendance. So let me know if you prefer that, so we can do it. If not, you're going to have midterms next week, and then I would, assign that on Monday. So let me know, okay? So here we go with our homework. I'm going to start with English 133, A500, and A501. So English 133, A500, and A501, you are going to do chapter 2. So read chapter 2, and then at the end of the chapter, there's 7 tests. Make sure that all the tests are done, okay? And that's what you're going to be your homework, okay? So there's 7 tests. Make sure that you, copy and paste your answers onto your Word document, and then upload your Word document. You need to do all the tests. You guys did really good last time. So there's 7 chapters to the test. Make sure that you get them all in, okay? Deadline for homework is Wednesday midnight, okay? Thank you so much. So this is English 145, A501, and A502. Or A500 and A501, okay? So English 145, make sure that you read the chapter and you do everything that is requested of doing it, okay? So it's English, so it's practices, quizzes, and activities, I believe, okay? So make sure that you go through the chapter and do what the chapter requires you and asks you to do. Make sure that you copy and paste it onto a Word document and then upload that, okay? So that's English 145, A500, and A501, okay? So now we're going to business communication, and business communication is chapter 2, okay? And chapter 2 for me is, let me see what, it's learning objectives 2.1 through 2.7. It's questions 1 through 19 on pages 60 through 61 on my hard copy. So I don't know what pages are yours, but do for chapter 2, you do problems 1 through 19, objectives 2.1 through 2.7, okay? Make sure that you copy and paste it onto a Word document and upload it. Thank you so much. Namaste. Love and light. Oh, deadline is midnight, okay? Thank you. Wednesday.